Keeping It Real with Rudi Lickwood, the topical interactive chat show where you may end up being one of the guests, with special guests and you, the audience. Comedy with Rudi Lickwood. This event is brought to you by Comedy Hartswell. Don't forget, Keeping It Real with Rudi Lickwood. This is an 18 certificate only.
Whoa, how you doing? Good to see the room starting to warm up. I like the fact that the room is warming up. How's everybody doing? I'm feeling toasty right about now. I ain't gonna lie. Central heating has been on all day. Yes, I got no idea what outside feels like. It could be cold, it could be hot. I got no idea. All I know, right, is that if you see me stripping off, yeah, or you see my nose start sweating, yeah, it become a heater is up. So that means, Mr. Gaspill, I got love me. But the thing is, I told you, when Mr. Gaspill turn up, he's turning red. He's gonna have to turn red before he sees a penny from me. Yes. So let me say good evening. Good evening goes out to Sharon, Miss Spice, Miss Gibson. How you doing up there in Birmingham? How you doing? How you doing, Denise? Thank you for popping in. Juicy Juice. R&B Massive and Keep It Real crew. Keep It Real crew's in the house. There's a lot of people hiding though. I can see there's quite a few people hiding in the back there. Yeah. What? You finally put the heating on? No, I'm not countryman, you know. I ain't countryman. I put on the heating. I could not let my family suffer. You know, some people don't mind their family suffering. They just say, just wrap up. Put on a little extra. Me tired. You're tired. Oh God. Tired, me tired. Tired, me tired, you know, Rudi. Me tired. Lala mercy, me tired. Me get up and me tired. Oh, that's good. Patricia Warrington. Is that Warrington? Warmington. See, that's a lovely name. Miss Warmington, how you doing, darling? Are you okay? Make sure you subscribe. Yes? Nobody come in the room and don't subscribe. Me hate it when people do that. They come in my room, yeah? Them look around, yeah? Them see what go on, and then they don't subscribe. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of upsetting, man. Please do that for me. Subscribe, share. That's another thing you could do. You can share. Yeah. Hit that share button. Hit that like button. That's another button you got to hit. Let me just stretch out my back for a minute. Hold on. Let me just stretch out my back. Yeah. Back up me, you know? Back up. Well, what can I say to you? I don't even need to waste your time, right? In fact, if by me rambling on, I am actually wasting your time, in truth, because the guests that I've got for you guys tonight are phenomenal. You know what I mean? They're pioneers in their own way, but in totally different fields. As some of you know, if you know why you're here, yeah, you will understand that these guys are pioneers within their own field. What else can I say other than let me introduce to you my first guest the way I do. So there's no point in us wasting time. As I said, let me take that little note there off there, so we get to see the fullness of this man, yeah. Yes.
Baby, look into my eyes when we're dancing in the club. I run my hands down your thighs. Baby, that is not enough. If you think I'd wanna take you home after the first night, with all the things that's associated, you're damn right. Cause tonight I wanna hear you saying, ooh, ah. When I hit your G-spot, baby, I wanna hear you moan.
Whoa, where you get all those pictures from, bruv?
Bruv, listen, mate. When me digging up.
You hacked by a cat. What's going on here?
I rummaged your Facebook like I was going through your account.
What? Let me tell you, Tom.
I just thought I had to do that. I thought I had to do that.
That was good. That was a good one, Rudi. That's like, I know, you know, and my heart started beating faster, you know. I was thinking, oh, right. What pictures are you going to start digging up there? Because I've got a private cache. I've got a private cache there, pictures. And you was getting deep, and I thought, whoa, Rudi, stop now. Good evening, sir. How are you?
I mean, I'm not too bad. I did leave out the one with you and the chicken. I left that one out. So
that's
you're all right.
Then. Everyone knows I like chicken.
Oh man! So this morning, man, we got the times mixed up.
Listen, I thought the score, I thought I was on for 8:10 this morning.
Right.
I was up out my bed early, proper early, before the birds and everything was rustling. I was ready for you. And as I kept on saying to you, I had another gig to get to straight after, and it was ticking on. I thought, this guy Orlando is doing that. He's doing that thing. What, like,
Okay.
Rudi? What are you doing? And in the end, it was like, you know, I have to go. I know what's going on.
Because the phone started ringing. This is me. I goes, wait, hold on. I don't normally take calls. You know what I mean? I'm on live. I don't take calls. Yeah. And then I went, nah. I got to find out what. And then when you told me the time, I was like, oh man, what have I done? I put the wrong time. Because I know you was talking about going off to see Harry Redknapp, if I'm correct.
That's right. This morning. That's right. Yeah. And they wanted me to get there for breakfast. And I said, I can't. I said, because I've already promised a good friend of mine that I'm doing this show early in the morning. So after I finish his show, I'm going to come down and see you all.
And I really do appreciate that. I genuinely do. Because, I mean, if it was a toss-up between you and Mr. Redknapp, yeah,
I would have been trusted. I'd have been.
Yeah,
I feel you. But I'm not like that. I'm not. No. You came first, Rudi. You came first, my friend.
You know what? That goes to show that you are a man of integrity. That's what that tells me.
Yeah, we keep it real.
I
don't really care what anybody. Truthfully, I don't really judge people on what they've done. I judge people on who they are. And I've known me and you go back decades.
Come on, man. Let's go back to where we go back. We go back to Shoreditch.
For Shoreditch. That's right. Way back, and that was like what? It must be in the early 90s.
Yeah, 80s.
Late 80s.
Late 80s. It was in the late 80s.
So, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, because them times
there. Who's football? I don't know how you read that. I know you.
I hear that. You know what? Some people climb the ladder and they forget. True talk. But you know what? The same people you pass on the way up are the same people you pass on the way down. You know. So you better keep it real all the way up and all the way down. And even if you only get halfway, there's still a way to drop down. So keep it real with everybody. You know what I mean? No, I don't blame you for saying that. Because the thing is that I guess the most prominent thing that stands out when it comes to yourself anyway is what you've actually done for Lovers Rock Music. Okay,
you know what? It's interesting because I see it as I see what I've done for Lovers Rock Music, but I also see it for what Lovers Rock has done for me. Okay. Lovers Rock gave me a foundation in my life when I was growing up. It's an integral part of my early life. So therefore, it's an integral part of who I am as a person now. So I'm just paying dues to something that was so instrumental in making and shaping who I am as a person now. Do you know what I mean?
Because I mean, what made you come up with this concept for Lovers Rock? Because I mean, we've all seen what Mr. McQueen has done with it.
Oh, bless his cotton socks. I think they are cotton, but bless him, yeah. You know, to be honest with you, for me, Lovers Rock wasn't being given the platform that it deserved. I thought that I came into the Lovers Rock thing in a proper way. 2008 right. Is when I really got on board. And what really, I mean, the backstory to that was I was looking after an artist called Jean Adibambo, who everyone probably knows. And she passed away. She took her own life, unfortunately. And at the time,
I think the thing is that everybody remembers Jean Adibambo, because what was that?
Paradise,
come out with Paradise, isn't it?
That's
come out with that in Paradise.
And she was a great person. She was one of the few artists that transcended her music. People liked Jean Adibambo. They just liked her persona. They liked her. So she became more than just the track. Do you know what I mean? And when people got the backstory of, you know, her own personal life, which I'm not going to go into, but, you know, obviously she was suffering from mental depression. She was for years and years and years. And I was talking to her in the morning, and the same morning she took her life. And it shook me up. It shook the family up. But because of the circumstances, the insurance company decided that they weren't going to pay no insurance. Right. So the last thing me and her was talking about on the phone on the same night she passed away was about the children and looking after the children and their further education and that type of thing. So I thought, you know what? I know what your wish is, Jean. So I put together a benefit concept at Hackney Empire.
Right.
And I know too why it's 2008 because I think that's when Facebook first started up. Because I sold it through Facebook. That's
Oh,
first time
see.
I know. Yeah.
See, so you got straight into the social media.
Oh, straight away. And I tell you what, boy, it knocked me off my feet. I gathered all the I told all the artists who was interested. I think in the end there's about 18 artists. Hackney Empire, blah blah blah. I put it on sale on the Friday. I gave the guy the artwork. And so the artwork was going to come in the following week. I'd done the radio advert, and the advert was going to go and go on the radio station the following week. I put a notice out on Facebook on the Friday, and on Monday it sold out. It's the fastest selling show in Hackney Empire history.
Right.
It went out on Friday. Went out on Friday morning. It was sold out in the evening completely. Not a seat left. And I said, now what you got to bear in mind, I was a man who's brought up on flyers, isn't it? Flyers and radio adverts, and stand that in the cold and the rain and give it out. Yeah, you always say it, Facebook sold it out with no money.
Yeah.
In 12 hours. I was like, wow, the game has just changed, Orlando.
That changed the game.
Yeah.
Because
since then they've tightened it so you can't do it like that anymore on Facebook. Let's keep it real. It doesn't work like that now. But in the early days, when they gave you freedom to access your database or your friends, it was madness in the early days.
Because that's one of the things, as you say that, Orlando, that's one of the things that I do actually struggle with when it comes to Facebook, in the sense that I know I can see 6,000 people.
Yeah, but they can't see
you.
I'm
not getting to 6,000 people.
Never. If you get to 200-300, you've done well.
Right.
Your 6,000 people. Their algorithm is set up so that you can't get to all your people. And what really upsets me about them is obviously after they start to monetize it, and I get that it's a business model. But if I'm paying for the advert, then let me get my message out to my people that are following me, at least. But even when you do that, you still get out to your people.
Because that's what that's what I was told. That's one of the biggest mistakes you can do is to actually press that boost button, because you become addicted to it.
Well, you know, forget the boost button. You go in, if you're going to do an advert, you go in the advert thing, I can tell you about after, and you customize it. You customize the database, who you're targeting. You put in keywords. You customize it by age. You customize it by area that they live in, and you customize it by their interests. I mean, and then you put the advert out. At least you've maximized your chances of the advert going out to the people you want it to go out to. But even then, it doesn't work effectively. Nothing.
So what then? Are you talking about emails then, as opposed to?
Well, you know, it's now, to me, it's a 360-degree towards advertising. You've got to use all the social media as well as the traditional methods. You've got to use it all if you want to get out to 100% of people. You've got to.
Okay. Because the thing is that it's beautiful what you did for G Lally Bambo, but then, you know, like 10, 15 years down the line, you're doing it again.
Well, yeah, because, you know, anyone who knows me knows that I don't do things truthfully, I don't do things for money. I do things because I believe money comes as a byproduct of success. So, and I think that success is coming from passion. And if you believe in something, you do your best at it. And if you do your best at it, you will be rewarded. That's how that's how I see it. And it might be a bit utopian, but it works for me. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
And so I received a phone call from Frankie Paul, and Frankie said to me, Orlando, I can't get no work. I've had diabetes, so they've amputated my leg and I can't get shows. Is there anything you can do? And I said, you know what, Frankie, I'm going to buy you a leg. And he said, what? I said, I'm going to buy you a leg. That's what I'm going to do. So again, I hooked up the artist, and, you know, big up to, I can't do these things without the people backing it. I'm not a singer. I'm not a musician. I just put things together. So you need.
So what would you give your, what would be your title? What would be your title?
Event organizer, promoter, entrepreneur, whatever.
Okay.
Short black guy wears glasses. I don't know.
I think entrepreneur suits you. Suits you.
We'll go with that. I can't spell it, but
because you did get everybody together, and you did raise the money to get the leg.
Yeah,
right?
He bought the leg, and he got. And when he died, unfortunately, he was buried with the leg, and he's buried with the suit that we paid for it, and he was buried for the money that we put towards the coffin and everything. And his sisters that flew in from America, we paid for their flights as well. So yeah,
okay.
I mean,
okay. So this entrepreneur, because I much rather throw that name at you.
Okay, yeah.
I rather throw that name at you. This entrepreneur. I mean, where is I guess the question that I'm asking is, where is he coming from?
I was born in Finsbury Park in 1960. I'm a 60s baby. Turn now 60 now. God, 61 in January. Can you believe
It's
that?
hard to
Anyway,
believe. When you look at Orlando, I swear to God, people,
listen, I'm
when
shocked.
you look at Orlando, right, it's like you're looking at a bloody 23-year-old kid. Yeah, maybe because you're shot. Maybe because you're shot. Maybe that's why.
I think that might have something to do with it, you know. I think
I
think you're short when you're blessed in it. You're blessed and you're short, like small that.
Okay.
But you know, it's kind of. So I was born in Finchley Park. Then we moved to Walthamstow. That picture there, that's my mum and dad early. That's me, the little one there, the inquisitive one. That's my older brother. He's 1 year older than me. We went to Walthamstow, and that's where I spent my formative years. My school years was in Walthamstow. And in those days, the area was predominantly white. There's very few black kids in the area. I think in our road, there was like 2 in the whole road. And when we first went to school, there was hardly any black kids there, to be honest with you. So my whole background was black East London Cockney.
East London Cockney.
Yeah, back 100%. Yeah, my family's from Barbados, and so in the house we spoke Barbadian, but I still can't understand it to this day, which is really bad. But I'm telling you, it's weird, and I've been there millions of times, and I still can't pick up the accent. It's crazy. So you know what's interesting? Just to digress a little bit.
Of course.
Later on, when more and more black people started coming in the area, the most predominant island was Jamaica. And back in the day, everybody was from Jamaica. It don't matter where they came from, everyone was from Jamaica.
No, they wanted to come from Jamaica.
Yeah, well, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, I know.
They wanted to be.
It's like if you go later on when you go to the discos and they would say, make noise, people from Kingston. Everyone would jump up like this from Kingston. No, you weren't. You're not from Kingston.
No.
You come from Bridgetown, Barbados. That's where your family comes from.
Because the thing is, what I found with the Bajans, especially when I went over there, they were more English than the English. I'm sorry. Why are you wearing a jacket, a shirt, and a tie?
Yeah. You know, they call it Little England. And for years and years and years, it really was like Little England. It's not so much like it now. It's got far more flavor and far more independent vibe to it now. But back in the day, when I first started going there, it was like Little England. It really was. High noon tea and all sorts of things. It's crazy. Do you know what I mean? It was crazy.
In fact, this was one of your schools, is that right?
Yeah, that's Henry Maynard. Yeah, that's one of my first. That's my junior high school.
Junior, because that looks more like a grammar.
No, you know what? Hang on, that building is Warwick. That was my. That's junior high. Before I went to secondary school. Yeah.
Because I mean, the buildings that I went to when I went to school was more like prefabs. It was
right, okay, yeah.
I'm with you. Quite an old building when you think about it.
Yeah, true. I mean, these ones are kind of like historical buildings.
Yeah,
these are like pre-Victorian.
Got to be listed.
Yeah, I've got a funny thing as well. It was it used to be a grammar school. I think it used to be a grammar school before it got taken over.
Yeah, it's got that look.
Yeah, it's got that kind of feel in it.
It's got that kind of look about it.
Yeah, it has.
You know, and that was junior school though.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and so then you went.
This is my secondary school, to George Monarch's, which is further up the road. Again, it was an ex-grammar, as you can tell by the looks. It had its own grounds, it had a swimming pool, blah, blah, blah. A lot of people went to Monarch's. It's a sixth form college now, mixed. But at the time, it was an all-boys school.
Okay. Okay. So you went to an all-boys school?
All the way through, you know, apart from, I think, the very first school I went to in Finchley Park, which was only for a couple of years, all the schools I went to were all boys, which is probably why I've got such a preoccupation with females.
So you got your first.
I was deprived when I was a youth. I was deprived.
I gotta give you one thing. You're one for the ladies. You are definitely one for the ladies, man. I know you got a lot.
I think it's a natural. I think it's a natural thing. I think it's like you know, man and woman getting on is natural. That's what I think.
No, I know. I gathered that, but I've always, because I actually struggled, because I went to an old boys school myself, and I struggled to just have a friendship relationship with girls. It was always I always felt myself as a predator than more. You know what I mean? Because I didn't know what it was like just to sit next to one and just. I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. It was always. The only reason why you're talking to a girl is because you're trying to get a number. You're trying to get something.
Okay. Yeah.
You know.
Well, the funny thing is, my thing was always about friendships. I like making friends. Anyway, I like people. I like talking to people. I've always considered people to be like books, and I've always found books to be interesting. So I think I've always invested time talking to somebody, finding out about a person, because that's what interests me. So whether it be a male or a female, that's what I liked.
Right.
I mean, so it was never about, you know, obviously when you're going for your teens and blah, blah, there's ulterior motive standard. Yeah, but later on, it's just about friendships.
Okay. Seems like there's a few people who recognise George Monarchs in Walthamstow.
Yeah, big school. Yeah, that's cool. As I said, for back in the day, it was an all-boys school, but then later on, it turned into a sixth form school, which is after my time. But a lot of people, most of the people from that side of London, that area there, went to Monarchs.
Okay.
Kind of like, yeah, a lot of people went to that school there.
And I've got a few people throwing up some flags as well.
All right.
The Asians are in the room. Really
okay, but of course I represent.
She actually said that she used to live near Henry Maynard School.
Oh, there you go. Okay. That Tracy?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, Trace. I was going to ask you how old you, but you only look like you're about 21. So obviously it was way before my time, Trace.
Yeah, but the thing is, she's not the only one who's looking like she's 21.
Patricia, what are you saying, Bass? You good? See, Pat comes to my gigs. Pat, she's a good friend. We are good. That's one of my people. One of our people. We sit in Brixton and chat and lavish about things in Bricky. That's my girl.
So when you left school, what was that like? Because
I left school in '76, and there was a heat waves then actually.
I remember that summer of '76.
Yeah, but it's interesting because, as I said, my background was kind of like Cockney black, But when I left school, I realized that there's a world of difference between how I saw the world and how the world saw me. The first job interview I ever went to, a proper job interview, was for a solicitor's office in Walthamstow, Walthamstow High Street. And in them days, you send in your CV, not your CV, your qualifications and your little thing about your background. And, on the phone interview was great and come in for interview and blah, blah. I went in there and sat down with my three-piece plaid suit. I'll never forget it, flapping in the wind because obviously flares are in there. And I thought I looked hot. I thought I looked good. Turned up and the guy done it and said, yeah, you're qualified, blah, blah, but we're not going to give you the job because you're black. 1976.
At least straight up in your face. Straight up in the eye. Yes,
no ramping. Straight up. And that's when I realized I was absolutely... Listen, I used to hang around with, go football, hang around with guys. So on the terraces, it used to get a bit tasty. But it was weird because it's almost like, as much as people were being racist on the terrace, because you was part of the fan base, it's almost like you knew it was wrong, but you didn't see it like that. It was like crazy because the football thing was bigger than that. The football thing was more about supporting your team and partisan and anything that was said was being said.
That's where all the ends kind of like stuff came from in terms of where you belonged, because it gave you a sense of being and a sense
that's
of
right. Yeah, that was who you belong with. And even when you used to move with different football teams and all that, it was football that it was about, and and the tribal belongings of football. So it seems to transcend. The leader of West Ham at the day was a black guy called Cass Pennant.
Yeah, that's what a lot of them don't know. That everyone think that some white guy was behind this whole thing.
I mean, there was white guys who were like Bill Gardner, but Cass was like one of the main boys because he's gone on and made films and blah blah. Big black guy, and so I'm not even going to tell you some of the things that he used to say when he.
No, you don't want to, mate, because you might them little legs that you might not have them anymore.
Well, there you go. And so it was like a weird vibe. And what you got to bear in mind, we had television programs on in them days there where the words like Sambo and blah 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 were standard.
Love Thy Neighbor.
It was just part and parcel of everyday TV life. So you didn't, even though you knew in the back it was bad, it didn't really hit you until that day when they turned and said, we're not going to give you that job because you're black. And that's when I realized, like, wow, you know what? Okay. The talk that my mum and dad used to have when they used to say to you, you have to be 50,000 times better than a white guy to survive and blah, 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 blah. It all started to come together. Yeah, it all started to come together.
Because football has played a big role for you, hasn't it?
I love football. People know me, love me. And these are the two people that brought me into football. Pele, because I love Brazil, and Pele is the king. And George Best, and that's why I love Man United. Those two guys brought me into football. I fell in love with football because of them. And football's been even now, football plays a massive part in my social life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. That's my oldest. He's signed to West Ham now. Under 13s, we've been playing football. He's been signed to Arsenal and Chelsea because obviously, again, the game's changed since I was a kid. They're scouting kids from like really young now because they see them as assets that if you develop later on, they could be worth millions. So the teams spend fortunes on them. Like literally fortunes on them. Right now, Montana's 12, he's my oldest. If anyone wants to buy him now, they've got to pay 50 grand minimum by law. If they want to buy him now, he's 12. It's mad. It's crazy. Honestly, that's my youngest. That's Denver, just as he come out of hospital. Is, as you can tell, my boys. That's my life. That's who I live
that's the
for.
one thing I
Listen, mate, that's what I live for. I live for my family. Real talk. Don't even play with that. That's my heart for real.
Okay.
I mean, that's my heart.
Okay.
I waited years. My youngest is 7. So
because like you said, you waited. Yeah, you was just about to go there.
Yeah,
you waited.
Listen, I waited because I waited on purpose because my lifestyle didn't suit having children.
Right.
You know, I've been involved in the entertainment business and sales.
Yeah, but what about before the entertainment business? Before
I was in entertainment, I was in sales.
Yeah.
I used to have a double glazing company, central heating company, stone cladding, and then I went into insurance and mortgages. So it was always about people, always about sales. I had massive office building in Tottenham. I had people working for me, going out and selling. I used to get a massive buzz out of it. I used to love sales. Prior to that, I was in the Ministry of Defence. And the Ministry of Defence taught me one great lesson, actually, that I was never destined to work for anybody. That's what he taught me. The Ministry of Defence, oh my God, there you go. Northumberland Avenue, mate. Northumberland was my first job in the ministry from 1976 to 1980. Yeah, executive officer, Ministry of Defence. Wow.
Okay.
Used to buy stuff for the Navy, the Army, and RAF.
Okay, because Peter Merry is the comic that I know. He says, I think I heard Orlando tell this story recently. Was it in London with Robert Elms on BBC One?
Oh, that was ages ago. I think what did I do, Robert? That was a little while back though. Yeah, but at least I'm consistent with my stories.
No, but you're going to be how can your story change? The past can't change.
That's
your
right.
Past can't change.
You are what you are. And that is your story. That is my story. And all those bits and pieces lead me to be who I am. I mean, the ministry was fantastic because it taught me, Orlando, you cannot work for other people. It's not part and parcel of who you are. I don't take orders well if I don't believe they're correct. And I learned that there. And I remember I read a book called The Magic of Thinking Big on a Friday. And one of the lines was that, if you're unhappy and you want to change your life, you've got to throw away the lifeboat.
Whoa, and that's right. Everything's got to go, innit? Everything's got to clear out. You got to
Friday.
clear out.
I gave my resignation. Done. Yeah, I was 20 then, and that was it. And I never worked for anyone ever since.
Okay, because it wasn't the only thing. It wasn't the only thing that made you make a big shift, was it?
Oh my God! I tell you what. Going back to when you first realised that you're black, right? Again, this was in '77. I jumped on a bus in Walthamstow, going from Baker's Arm to Walthamstow, and I put a sports bag down on the chair, and this old white lady got on the bus with me, and she goes, move the bag, you black bastard. I'll never forget it. And I turned around and said, what? Blah, blah, blah. We got into an argument. Obviously, it didn't get physical, it was the old lady, but I left my bag there. And then the bus conductor come up and said, didn't you hear what she said, you black bastard? And he tried to hit me with that ticket thing there, that's ticket machine from the old days. And he tried to hit me with that, and he missed. And the old metal poles that was on the bus, he nearly caved it in. So if that hit my head, can you imagine what would have happened? We got into a scuffle, I took the thing off him, and he come off worse. I broke a couple of ribs and blah, blah, blah. Because I was like, I was all right back then. Not that. But back then, yeah, kind of. So SBG, remember the old SBG? Oh, there you go. The old SBG. They turned up, and everyone was trying to say, no, he never started. The bus conductor started it. And they turned around and said, we don't care. We're arresting you. They took me down to the Nick in Leighton, and I was there all night. And about 2 o'clock in the morning, they all come bursting in the cell, and somebody said, nah, leave him. And my heart was going then. I thought, you know what, Orlando, you're gonna get stuff.
You're gonna get a kick in, mate.
Listen, I really thought I was going to, actually. I really, really thought so. And that's when another thing I realized, like, you know what? Again, when you're black in this country, you know what? You've got to be careful as a black man. That was back in '77. So when people talk about Black Lives Matter and blah, 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 just fast forwarding, we've lived with this since we come into the country, the truth be known. You know what I mean? And that's coming from somebody who's like well steeped in the way.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And and even after that, I've been a Rotarian, I've been a Mason, I've been all those things. Yeah, I was a Mason. I was a Mason for years. And then I just left it because I just thought it's cool. But you know what I mean? I saw what it was, and it's cool. Not that there's anything bad with it. A lot of the things that people say about the Masons, it's not that.
So it's all made.
The Masons was cool.
Okay.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
And you've got to put commitment in it. So I'm going to go no deeper. But yeah, so I've done all of that. I've played that kind of, well, not even played that game because it's part of who I am as well. You know what I mean? So it's not like I've come in as a rebellious person, but I've still been known throughout, you still pointed out to you throughout your life that you are different and that you're black and you're going to get treated as such.
Okay.
But you can either use that to hold you back or you can use it to power you forward. I use it to power me forward.
Power you forward with all this
always.
experience, this knowledge that you've gained now from, doing insurance, doing the selling.
Yeah, that's right. People. And I see what I realized. I've met thousands of people in my life and I've spoken to thousands of people. You know what? Honestly, everyone's the same. Everyone's the same. Everyone's got their prejudices. Everyone's got their idiosyncrasies. Everyone's got their biggest. Everybody. It's like you might be talking to someone from Jamaica and they call you a small island back in the day because you're not from Jamaica. You might be talking to somebody and you might say you're a Christian. They say that they're a Muslim and you're. Everybody. It's like really weird. Everybody's the same because everyone believes the same. Obviously, who you are culturally, who you are as a person is who you are as a person. But intrinsically, when you strip it all away, we're all the same, mate.
Flesh and blood, rude boy.
I'm telling you, son. Yeah,
so tell us now. Let's start getting.
Okay. I'll give you a story about this. Obviously, this is Wayne Marshall. He's like my best friend, and we go back donkeys and blah blah blah. I'll give you a story. I put on a show way back in the day with the emotions and intro and blah blah. To cut a long story short, it lost a lot of money and left me on my face. That was in the early 90s because they didn't get their work permit sorted out. No, we never got their work permit sorted out. The guy and the guy that put on the show. Yeah. We took, and they got turned away, and we lost fortunes, and I was broke. And me and Wayne had, Sultan Records was going by then. By the late 80s, I started a record label called Sultan Records, and it was really successful to start with. Then it dipped, then it became successful again. But me and Wayne went to Birmingham with no money, and we had a box of records. Asked Wayne, box of records, and we would have gone all record shops and said, we've got to sell these records and make a little bit of money and blah, blah. And in the end, I think we sold about 3 records. And then I went into a record shop, 3. We went into a record shop called Summit. Don't forget, we didn't have the money to get back home, We was in Birmingham. But the car broke down. Wade had an old, what's that called again? Saab. And it broke down. So we're stuck in Birmingham now with no money, with a box of records. And I went into a shop and I turned around and said to him, you know what, I've got no money, blah, blah, blah. There's a guy called Winston. Winston, I can't get home. And he gave me the money for the train fare. And he gave me enough money to buy a bag of chips. I'm telling you. And me and Wayne were sitting in the wall in Walthamstow. I was living in Walthamstow then. And I said to Wayne, you know what? I goes, I'm going to change this up. He goes, I said, we're going to do a project based on sex. And he goes, well, I goes, the whole thing's going to be about sex, mate. The title, the imagery, the songs, everything's going to be about sex. I said, I've seen it. This is what we're going to do. And from that album, Steve, come out, 90 Degrees and Rising, in the title. From that, the track of 94, G-Spot, come out. And from that, it became the largest black independent project on the streets. You know what I mean? And it still is to this day. It was huge. It was huge. You know what I mean? But that's where that comes from, out of adversity.
Okay. But then the thing is that as Wayne started to develop and as he got bigger, and you started coming up against the majors now, because obviously Wayne has grown to such a stature.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Then you found another lesson in life. When I first started the record label, Sultan Records, as the name suggests, it was based on Motown. My whole idea was to get a Motown type label in England with X amount of artists. So I had artists like Maxine and Everest and Jenny Bell and Mary Rose. And we had a plethora of fantastic artists on the label. We had great producers on the label like Michael Daly, like Tony Cooper, like Andrew Harvey. Fantastic guys, Jason Halliday from Zushi. We had brilliant people working behind the scenes, because the whole idea was, Orlando, we're going to do a black British Motown. However, my idea at the end was always going to be, you're going to take it up to a certain level, then it's going to get funded by a major, because then you can really expand it and make it worldwide.
Of course.
And I thought, the way to do that, Orlando, you've got to prove beyond the shadow of a doubt that it's going to be financially viable and that you can break and make artists on the street that have got the potential to cross over. So now when we've done the 90 Degrees and Rising project, it was the biggest project in England at the time. Honestly, it was huge. Everyone was talking about it. We had pre-sales. Pre-sales is just before you release the album.
50,000. Come on, start the top, man. Start the top.
You get in touch with all the shops nationwide and say, how many copies of this album do you want to buy before release date? They give you those figures. Those figures are compiled, and that's what's going to go out. And it's done for a company called Jetstar, like with Mr. Carl Palmer and his daughter
Palmer,
Kim,
yeah.
and Karen Blood. Fantastic company there was as well for black music. We had, at the time, we had 50,000 pre-sales of an album, which was unprecedented and unheard of. Yeah. And what you've got to bear in mind, that's 50,000 copies selling into the shops for £5.50 a copy. Do the maths.
I just
It
want
was
a loan.
huge.
Never mind doing the maths. Just give me a loan, yeah?
You should have asked me back then. I can lend you a hat though. So I started making phone calls, and then I started getting a couple of phone calls from the majors.
Right.
And I went to see one of them, and they told me, said, Orlando, it's a fantastic project. Wayne Mansell's going to be brilliant, blah, blah. We're going to offer you 50 grand. 50 grand. And blah. I went, no offense, but in 3 weeks' time, we're picking up a check for £250,000. So, but I'll tell you what you do. Match it.
Yeah.
Just match it. Take over the pre-sales. Take over the project. Do you know what I mean? Because then everyone has been involved in it so far can get sorted. Yeah. And we work the thing and blah, blah, blah. And they told us, said, no, that's too much money. I went, how can it be too much money when the promotion's already been done and the money's sitting there to collect? To cut a long story short, they turned around and said they're not going to do it. But to make it worse, the same company, the guy in it, went around to all the different record companies and said, do not deal with these guys, they're mavericks. It's a dodgy guy from Brixton working out from a telephone box.
Okay.
So every time from that moment onwards, no majors would touch us. I bucked up with the same guy about 4 or 5 years later, and he come up to me and said, I owe you an apology. And I said, what? He goes, and he told me what he'd done. And I said to him, why did you do it? And he goes, because you wouldn't sign with me. And that's when it's like,
that ain't even the worst bit about it. I know that people are sitting at home assuming that the person that you're talking about is a white guy.
No, he's a black guy. He's a black guy. Yeah. Yeah, he's a black guy. And that was really disappointing, actually. And, you know what? You can't let these things. If it wasn't for that, Wayne Marshall, who I truly believe is one of the most gifted singers in this country, would have gone worldwide. I'm telling you that for a fact. And forget about the sex thing in the G-spot, because we'd have moved on to other type of projects. Do you know what I mean? Like other artists were allowed to.
I used to watch him take off his top and all them thing. They were that dirty.
You know what? That was about the project.
On stage.
That was about the project. And I tell you what, there ain't nothing wrong. A little bump and grind. What?
Yeah. No, bottom line is that sex sells, and it's not until you get older. It's not until you get older. Yeah. Even if you watch Buju Banton, and then you can see how his music changed. Right? We're now hearing Snoop Dogg telling Bacardi, is it Bacardi B? Yeah, she shouldn't be so explicit with her lyrics and stuff like that. Yeah. Thinking, it's only because you got an older head now.
You've seen it from a different perspective. That's right. I'm telling you. And when the whole sexual thing blew up in the 90s with the R&B and the lyrics, honestly, it was what it was then. With no one, I mean, it's a taboo word now, but R. Kelly was a major part of that. I mean, then we had your Jodeci's and you had all sorts of things. The sex thing in the 90s and the R&B thing was part and parcel of it. But I always say to people, what would you prefer, explicit sex or explicit violence? Because how it's gone now, it's gone explicit violence, and I'd rather it just went back to sex. If you want the honest truth.
Okay. I mean, because with the position that you're currently in, and you've seen the change in the music scene and everything like that. I mean, how do you deal with the youth? I get youth approaching me all the time about different pieces, and I try to put them on the right kind of path. My only problem is we kind of divert. We move off on the same path when I start looking at the lyrics. As I said, I'm not a prude. I've got no problem with sex. Like honestly, none whatsoever. However, when you start talking about how many people you're going to kill today and how many people you're going to kill and get points for and blah, that for me is no longer entertainment. And that for me is an aspect of life that I can't be encouraging and that I've got to dissuade you from following as well. It's just blatantly wrong. I can't get with that. And even with my 12-year-old, some of the stuff he listens to, I get that it's fashion. But I say, if you actually check the lyrics on this, what they're actually saying, we're going to go chef somebody. We're going to blah, blah, blah. We're going to, like, what are you talking about? Like, really? Like, that's what it's about. Like, killing people. And it's like random killing because you want to get points. You want to get points. You want to say how big you are on your block. 1 point for stabbing somebody. 2 points for maiming them. 3 points for putting them in.
respawn them. You're getting, I nearly killed him, but he got respawned because they gave him CPR on the day. That's what these guys are talking about every day. And there's some of them that are living it, and you just
they're
can't
trying to live it.
so wrong.
They're trying to live it because the truth of the matter is that they're watching videos and they're assuming that the lifestyle they see on those videos is the lifestyle.
But Rudi, I'm gonna break something. I live in Brixton and I deal with some of the gangs down there, and I can tell you this, bro, it's real.
Okay.
There's guys that go out on ride outs. That's what they call it. They go into other people's territories. They drop it on IG. They set up ambushes. They stab each other. They try to shoot. It's mad. It's absolutely. I'm not saying they're all on that.
Yeah.
Not 100%.
Yeah.
But there's a group of them that are living that lifestyle. And what they do in each gang, the gangs will take a couple of guys that are good at rapping. They're in the same gang,
Okay.
And they would become rappers talking about real life.
But this, once again, it's a reflection. To me, it's a reflection of what they got from across the Atlantic when they hear them. 100%. I mean, I use the term "keeping it real." Yeah, we're keeping it real now. But they're actually copying. They're actually
Chicago.
Copying.
Drill comes from Chicago. Drill music comes from Chicago. That's where they're copying it from, 100%. But the fact that they're copying it and doing it makes it real for us.
Okay.
Making sense?
Yeah.
I'm not disputing where it's coming from.
Okay.
I'm disputing the fact that they've taken it now and they're not just glamorizing it, they're living it.
They're living it.
Yeah, man. It's just so wrong on so many different levels. Honestly, it makes you cry. It's unreal. So I sit down and talk to these guys about this all the time, and they try to like justify it and blah blah blah, and there is just no justification for it. There's just no justification for it. So getting back to what I was saying, I'd rather they were talking about meeting a girl and having sex.
Well, that's what we were doing. I mean, that was the whole thing. That's what
Lovers Rock was about. That's what Lovers Rock was about. Yeah.
That's what Lovers Rock was all about. It was about
meeting girls.
Yeah.
That was the main part of the evening. When you first go to a club and they used to play all the up tempo tunes, that was great. And great. But really and truly, the night didn't start until the lights went down, and it was like, okay.
We waited for 2
what I was practicing with the broomstick on Friday. Let's see what's going down on Saturday. That's what the real deal was.
Well, the thing is that we'll move off from that because you've given Lovers Rock a breath, another life. Yeah, and where do you think it can go? Where do you think it can go now?
The funny thing is, what I would like Lovers Rock to be introduced to a wider market. Yeah, I'm not saying necessarily a younger market, but a wider market who would appreciate it, which we can touch on the Steve McQueen thing in a minute, actually, because that's another part of it, really. But I'd like Lovers Rock to get introduced to a new market, because really, my whole idea for Lovers Rock was taking it to the Indigo, which is like the O2, was to give it a platform that it hadn't been on before. I also wanted to make sure that...
No. It wasn't. You did.
Yeah, and I am. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and also to make sure that it stayed on people's lips every year. That's why it was important for me that every year there's a massive Lovers Rock showcase, not just once in a while, blah blah blah. There's been some fantastic guys that have done it before in the past, like Mikey Koo's done one, like Castro Brand is part now done one.
Don't forget the brothers up in Birmingham.
Yeah, Trevor. I was going to come. Trevor Gatecrash. He still does his Legends now. Up to now, he does it. The only difference between mine and Trevor does his one with PA style, which is brilliant. I do one with live bands, which is closer to my heart. But every year it's on, and the reason for that is because I want people to know that it's relevant. As long as we are alive, this music is relevant. It's too easy for people not to carry the flag, not to carry that torch, and it to die and become a once in a blue moon thing. No, Lovers Rock was too important in our history to let it die like that, and that was one of the main reasons why I do the Lovers Rock show. That's why I think we've given a platform to over 140 artists over the years.
Okay,
we've done
140.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Give me 2 seconds because I want to do this.
Yeah.
I've been trying to crowbar it in.
Okay, that's some of the crew there. Yeah. There's some where you can recognize the faces there. Lloyd, Trevor, Paulette, Janet, Carol. You can see the guys there. You know what I mean? Donna, Sylvia. Yeah. Lovers Rock Foundation.
They were all there, man.
Every once in a year, we all get together
and
we have a fantastic time.
And the thing is, what I'd like to say, because I've got to close, is that I'm grateful to you for doing that. I really am. I remember sitting down at home thinking about doing it, Orlando. Right?
Okay.
Not having that kind of the background that you had to follow it through, as well as the tenacity. Because when I stop and listen to what you've just now said, you went to Birmingham, you only had 3 records.
Yeah.
You understand? So you started from the bottom.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Started from the bottom, bro.
Yeah.
And
you know what? Once you're alive and you breathe in the morning, life is going on. And where you end up at the end of that day is down to you. I'm a great believer in that. And maybe because of sales, in sales, it was always about every no brings you closer to a yes. So you'd knock on a door, or you'd get a lead, and you go in and you might be sitting with somebody for double glazing for 4 or 5 hours, and they turn around and say no to you, and you're back on the next one pitching, and then you walk out with a check for 10 grand or whatever. The bottom line of it is there's always something to achieve if you don't stop. If you keep on going, you'll always get through in the end. I'll take that in everything that I do. You know what I mean?
So I have to say to you, thank you very much for giving me your time.
You know, I was going to say, keeping it real, Rudy. I love what you're doing, bro.
Yeah,
I think what you're doing is so important. Platforms. I've done something today with like Harry Redknapp's people, and they're interviewing a whole heap of celebrities and stars and blah blah. And you know, I think that's the easiest thing to do. That's the obvious choices. It's great. So what you're doing is the foundation stuff, and without foundation, you can't have no roof. So I clap you, bro, for real, for keeping it real.
I'm gonna accept it. I'm gonna clap
it. Take that love, bro. Take that love.
I'm gonna take that love, man. I'm gonna take that love because it feels like it's something that needs to be done. It feels because I remember sitting down watching Des O'Connor and wondering where is Peter Girl. Do you know what I mean?
Again, one of my good.
I was wondering where's Peter McQueen. I'm wondering.
Yeah.
I can't see them. You know what I mean? Because we were so busy going, where's the black man on TV? And it was on Trevor. Trevor was the only one flying the flag. You know what I mean? And then they showed us Lenny Henry, and you know what I mean. I had to wait until Jefferson and Whitfield and them come along.
What I
needed to hear, what I could relate to.
True.
You know what I mean?
True.
I think.
And again, so you took the mantle.
Sorry?
And you've flown with it. You've taken the mantle and you've flown with it. You've created something.
Yeah.
You have. Come on it. We're looking at it now. People that's in the chat rooms they're on it now because of what you done. Think about that. Go look in the mirror and say, yeah, that's me.
You're not supposed to, yeah. we should be applauding you right about now.
Whatever, son. Whatever.
I think you've taken that bitter taste out of our mouth that Steve McQueen left us with. You know.
Steve.
I'm not. Steve. No, because I've reached that stage where I've kind of like said that a lot of us, like you said, you're in your 60s. I'm 58 years of age, right?
Yeah.
And I know that there's a lot of people who are in the chat room right now. Right, who are qualified people, they're white collar workers, they've reached levels now. So why should we be accepting substandard options?
Well, you know, we were talking on about it briefly, and I'm not going to take up because I know Valentine's going to come on there. Steve McQueen got it wrong because he didn't do his research and he never lived the life. It wasn't real to him. Okay, he was guessing, and whoever was guiding him was misguiding him, and it was just blatantly wrong. For those who know Lovers Rock, what he put out there was an insult to Lovers Rock. If it hadn't been called Lovers Rock and it was just called the house party, his interpretation of a house party, no one would have cared. Lovers Rock means something to us because it's important to us. So if you're going to take that and run with that story, then get it right. And he never got it right. And the fact that he's been awarded BFI Best Film of the Year makes it even worse.
It's an insult.
Makes it even worse. Yeah, absolutely. But because anyone listening to what I'm saying, what you saw there was not Lovers Rock. Okay? That's not Lovers Rock. So please don't think it's Lovers Rock. That's got nothing to do with Lovers Rock. That's Steve McQueen's
meeting another narrative. Let's just keep it real. He's just meeting somebody else's narrative, and it's not our narrative.
It's not our story, and it's not our story. And we never conducted ourselves like that. Not even in modicums. That was not our story. It wasn't real. and that's taken away. Even that's gone away from the aspects of it that was just absolutely ridiculous, like playing kung fu fighting and everyone going mad to kung fu fighting. I went to millions of house parties. I was out from 14. I never saw that. I never saw people grabbing up people's bums and dancing like, you know, I never saw that. I've never seen no one take no one out in the garden and try to rape them. And they would just roll
I
back
don't
in.
think anybody saw the rape, but I don't think.
Well, you know,
we can deny
it was a heavy. It was a heavy. Yeah.
To be there. You weren't privy to be there.
What I'm not. Rape takes place in everyday life.
Right.
However, in my experience, I've never been to a house party where that's happened.
Listen, man. There's picnic in another bedroom where the coats are, so it can't happen in there. You know what I mean? Because some of us used to be the picnic in the coach room. You understand what I'm saying? All the coach things were.
And you know, and people talk about artistic license. I say that there's a responsibility with artistic license, with artistic expression. And there's going to be some people out there, unfortunately, who are going to think what they saw in that film represented the type of people that went to those parties.
And that's meant to be us. And that's why we're pissed off.
That's why I'm up in arms about it. That's why I'm up in arms about it.
I have to.
Yeah, 100%. Rudi, you're frozen.
I'm going to ask you to hang around. Have you got time to hang around?
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm here. Yeah, cool. We're on lockdown now, bro.
Allow me.
We're free now. I'm here.
Yeah, if you're free, just allow me to sit down with my next guest. Yeah, and then I'd like the three of us to sit down and have a chat later on. Yeah,
I'm here. And we'll just hang around. Cool. I'm interested in what Valentine have to say. It's cool.
Yeah, we'll extend tonight's show. Okay.
All right, brilliant.
How well does a community take care of itself? According to a recent study, a single pound circulates in the Asian community for 28 days, in Jewish communities for 20 days, in white communities for approximately 17 days, and the black community, 6 hours. This is what we at the Black Wall Street UK desperately want to change. We've developed a unique mobile app called the Black Wall Street UK. This is a business directory for black-owned businesses all across the UK. With the Black Wall Street UK app, you can find any black-owned businesses around you with the tap of a finger. So next time you're searching for a nearby hair product store or a nail shop or an estate agent or any black-owned business or service provider, just do a super quick search on the Black Wall Street UK. Our app allows you to search by business type and location. You can save your favourite businesses, add your own black-owned business, read reviews from other clients and much more. The Black Wall Street UK, the entire UK black community at your fingertips. Free app now available on Apple and Play Store. www.theblackwallstreetuk.com.
Try and cater to the community as best we can.
And as you can see, the support from all the coaches here, we all have one vision.
When you develop the mindset, what you're doing is you're developing a person that can be successful.
Trevor used to say, Trevor Hart, you bend a tree when it's young. What happens with a lot of them is they're wasting their time, a lot of it, doing the stupidness on the road before they get in the sense. So if we can get them early, we can hopefully push them in the right direction.
From here, a lot of the boys look at it and they say, oh, I can achieve that. Football's at our heart. Doing right by all the kids that are here is paramount. So for us, it's a win-win scenario, really and truly. Really a win-win scenario in that we get to do what we love, which is coaching. The kids get to come out and play football, and parents, it's slightly easier on their pocket.
So everybody's doing something in the community, and I love it. And that's why one of the reasons why I created this platform, so that we can see the people who are doing the stuff in our community. Because if we don't uphold them, nobody's going to do it. And it's down to our generation to do so. You know, it's not for us to just allow our kids to have modern technology in their hands, their phones, and just run wild with it. It's for us. It's for us to guide them. It's for us to direct them. You know. And I feel that we've got leaders in our field and we're not even aware of what's going on. But what I want to do is I want to make a little shift, make a little change, make a little move by introducing my next guest. Okay, and you know how I drop it. Whoa, yeah, big fan now.
Wow, Rudy, what an intro, man. What an intro. Listen, I've got to say, I really love Orlando. I'm so proud of him. I think that what he does, I just got so much respect, so much love, and it's so inspiring, what he does. And to me, that epitomizes success. And one of the things that made me want to come on and talk to you, because I decided that my strategy was going to be about doing, not really about talking. But I think it's really important that we set the right criteria for what success is, okay? And actually understand what it means to be successful, so that, a lot of the young people, I think they're lost about what success is,
Right.
And for me, Orlando, that is success, and his ethos, his energy is just really, really fantastic.
It's unbelievable.
And yourself as well.
I'm very surprised that he's got that kind of energy, to be honest with you.
No, listen, I've never met Orlando. He's been a Facebook friend for about 12 years, and I always respond to various things that he's doing because I'm just so proud of, and I share his same ethos. And, we've got people like that out there. And I think actually the future is amazing, because when I was 20, when I started my journey, I didn't have an Orlando and I didn't have a me, when I started this journey. And throughout my journey, even though I've been off the screen, I've always paid forward. I've always produced young Black filmmakers. I've given numerous funding to Nollywood films. And
but before we get to that, let's talk about you, because you're talking about you're talking about what you have to offer, right? And I think that's fine, right? But you didn't just get there. You didn't just appeared and then you was able to offer something. Do you know what I mean? Because when I look at I look at this little picture here, for example, and I remember that thing on the wall there. Yeah, because that's how they because I've got a scar on my leg, right? I brushed up against it, and ended up with like 3 running up my leg. Do you know what I mean? So tell us about you. Tell us where you're coming from, because you're Nigerian background, aren't you?
Yes. I was born in Nigeria, and I came with my family at the age of 6 in 1975. Okay. And that's my mum and my dad. I'm blessed that they're still alive and still married. And my dad was a student at Aston University at the time. And here he was a student, and he sent for his wife and 5 children. Okay. So can you imagine a student, right, who could be living it up in London on their own, right, saying, no, I'm going to study, right, and I'm going to bring my whole family, okay?
Right.
Okay, let me try and see if I can show a picture of my dad. This is my dad.
Okay.
Right, this is my dad. So we come, and first we lived in Streatham, and we lived in a 1-bedroom flat in Deptford, okay? So that's my dad and mum and my sister in the bedroom, and the boys all squashed together in the living room. Okay. Now, from those beginnings, and those beginnings were actually a step forward, actually, because I was born during the Biafran War. Okay, my eldest brother had to dodge bombs to go and get water. And he used to hold my second eldest brother's hand, okay? And they used to run in a ditch, okay? So that was our beginnings. And from there, my dad did a degree. Then he applied. He got a job at the university in Nigeria, and he came to study for his masters. And he brought us over
as an accountant, if I'm correct.
No, he was a personnel manager. So he was a university administrator.
Okay.
It's my father-in-law who was an accountant.
Okay.
Okay. And they had a similar story. My wife's Guyanese, and her.
Did you hear that, people? Guyanese. Okay.
Yeah, listen, I'm a big fan of the Guyanese. And they've got life. You think it makes class? Anyway, so that's the humble beginnings that we had, and from those humble beginnings, I had a sister that went to Oxford. Okay. I have, those were the beginnings. And, we went to school, we tried. I wanted to be a footballer. I was quite good. I was playing district. I was playing for the school. And then I broke my leg. So I'm about 13 now. I broke my leg. And my mum, the African family, you can be whatever you want to be after your first degree. Okay? Right? So I broke my leg, and my mum said to me, this football thing, my dear, you have to find another hobby. You're going to you're even going when you should be playing church. You're playing Saturday, you're playing district, you go Sunday, you're playing. No, my dear, you must find another hobby. So I thought, okay, I was there. I broke a leg in a district match, and I was there. I used to play for the same team as David Rocastle, 1 year down, Vista Wolves.
Okay.
So I was living Forest Hill. David was living in Brockley, and he was playing from Vista. And from Vista, he went to Arsenal. I mean, David was
he was on another level.
Absolute.
Ian Wright did so. Even Ian Wright.
Absolute quality. Absolute quality.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, I was sitting there at home, and I saw, this was 1983, that there was going to be these auditions for Bugsy Malone. Mickey DeLenz was going to do a show, Bugsy Malone, at the West End. And me and my stupid self, I thought, wow, this would be a fantastic hobby. So I said to my mum, would you mind if I went? Well, and she read it, because at that time, if you were under 16, you could only act for 40 days in a year, and you had to have a private tutor and a chaperone, so you couldn't miss your work. So she said, all right, go for it. I went there, and there was 10,000 people queuing up to do these auditions. I thought it was just going to be like, a few hundred.
People in it.
It was 10,000 people. And I had confidence, I did the acting. I got a pass in the general directing, but I couldn't really do the dance. So what I used to do, but I was a street boy. When it came to the hard bits, I'd be at the back. When it came to the easy moves, I'd go to the front and slide. That says Grand Slam, speak easy. And then when it got a bit hard, I
dropped to the back,
I dropped the back. So anyway, I got a recall, and I said, Lord God, man, what am I going to do? So I went home, and at Crofton, Lewisham Girls' School, they used to have a tap dancing class, and I turned up there, and there was a lovely girl, so I liked that. I didn't have any shoes, so I started to learn tap dancing. And what used to happen was, when they finished dancing, I would wear their shoes.
Okay.
So it was about a month or so to the recall, and by the time I got the recall, I wasn't proficient, but they could see. They could see that I had some rhythm, but what they liked was my endeavor.
Okay.
What they liked was my endeavor, that I went out there and I took the time to off my own back as a young person to go and find out what I needed to be on the show. And eventually I got in the show, which was amazing, because that allowed me to get an agent. And in those days, if you joined Equity as a child actor, you then got your equity card, because in those days, you know, you couldn't have the man at Woolwich doing an advert or the people at B&Q doing an advert. You had to have an equity card.
Yeah, I remember that. That was the big thing when I started.
That was a big thing.
You had to get an equity.
So that's how I got into the business, and from that, a very instrumental person. I was helping out, because I've never been about. It's not about the money. It's about the work that you do. So, and for me, even at a young age, what I really liked about being in Bugs and Malone, and what I really liked about industry, was working with a group of people to create a piece of artwork collaboratively. Okay, so whether it was acting, whether it was stage, whether it was radio, I really didn't mind. I even had a fabulous job, which I really loved, as a youth arts development worker for Newham Council, where my job was, I'd help people. Sometimes they'd be doing a steel band for carnival. Sometimes they'd be doing a fashion show. Sometimes we'd be making a video. We made a video with these guys that came out of prison, and we made a really lovely film. So for me, it was always about that, not about people coming and say, yeah, boy, I see you on the show last night, you good? No, I wasn't interested in that. What I'm interested is that I wanted to do justice to my life cycle, and I wanted to do something creatively that I enjoyed, and find a way that I could do it independently, without always waiting for the phone to ring. Because as an actor, it's really, really a difficult journey. Because
the thing is that the first role that we really got to know you, I mean, you did. I know you done. What is it? You did Touch of Frost. You did London's Burning. You did the
but the first one was South of the Border. It was about two black detectives. Yeah, and I played. It ran for 2 years, and I played the detective's younger brother. I played a character called Rufus. So that was the first series that I did that people got to know me. I was young. I was 18. I think I was 18 when I did that. Before that, that's me, you know, still doing that Nigerian thing. I was doing the acting, and I was still going to uni and getting my degree. But anyway, so it was during those times I did South of the Border. And then after South of the Border, I did a series of London's Burning, where I played this fireman Maddox, and I got to meet Trevor, who's a fantastic mentor.
Trevor Etienne became very instrumental in the black comedy scene as well.
Yes, and Trevor. I still speak with Trevor. In fact, I offered Trevor. I'm producing a science fiction film, and I offered Trevor a role, and he turned me down.
No, because Trevor wants to do the production and stuff himself.
No, but Trevor's in the States, and I think Trevor's in the States, and Trevor does American series, and Trevor, I'm so proud of him, because Trevor was one of my mentors. Okay. Every time I fell, Trevor was always the one that would be on the phone to give me encouragement. You know?
Trevor was like the big cousin. He was like the big cousin.
Oh, listen, Trevor, hold on. Trevor was on London's Burning. Trevor left London's Burning, and Trevor set up his own production company. Yeah. Okay? But people don't know that. Trevor set up his own production company. Trevor was producing The Real McCoy. Trevor was really instrumental. But sadly, in those days, and I have to call it what it is, there was a big glass ceiling.
Yeah, that's right.
It was almost, I don't care what anybody says, there was a big glass ceiling. And it was almost, you had to keep in your place, you know? And because of that, that is why Trevor went to America.
Why he left,
And
that's
Trevor inspired all these people who are successful in America. The pioneer of going to America was Trevor Etienne. Okay, it's Trevor that went to America and did Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff like that. So Trevor was a big mentor. So after that, then I had probably the most defining film that I did, which was Young Soul Rebels, which I did because we won the Critics Prize, and we went to Cannes, and that was really the pinnacle. 91, 92. That was really the pinnacle. In the sense that...
Hold on, I'm going to stop you there, because the thing is that the storyline of Young Soul Rebels was quite a defining moment for a lot of Black Brits because you were taking on homosexuality at the time.
Yes, look,
so as maybe you've seen it as a piece of art, but at the time, I mean, how did you see it at the time? How did you see it?
At the time, you know, I've always been like this. Okay, for me, I want diverse voices. Okay, I don't want to be somebody that stands up and starts telling other Black people what type of films they should make. Okay, I want a diversity of voices. Now, that film came out 30 years, well, maybe 20 years before its time. Okay, because here you had a Black gay guy making a story that reflected an unseen part of the early soul boy movement. And that is not an incorrect depiction. It's just not a popular or widely seen depiction. I'm not saying that that whole scene was that, but that whole scene was diverse. You know, those people, you know, that went to those clubs mixed with a variety of people, you know, artists. You know, I've talked to people like Leon who said, you know, sometimes they used to go to parties and there'd be Mark Bolan there. Sometimes they'd be dancing and people would get them to do adverts. You know, they ended up doing dances. So it was a really eclectic scene. And Isaac's perspective on it, I think, was a really valuable one. I mean, okay, at that time, we went to Cannes. And one of the most disappointing things was I was sitting next to Spike Lee, and him and his entourage, they were laughing, they were snickering, right? And I was really disappointed, you know, because John Singleton, he was really appreciative, and he was saying, you know, this is really good for us, not just to make hood movies or just not, you know, it's really important for us to tell a variety of different stories about our experience so that we don't allow ourselves to be pigeonholed, right? You know, so I knew it wasn't going to be box office because, you know, it was but
it got critical acclaim, didn't it? It got critical acclaim.
It got critical acclaim. And what's funny is that the more time goes on, the more people appreciate it. So it's one of those things that I get. You know, I was speaking to a producer. I was a couple of months back about a project in Canada, and he said to me, "Oh, thank you for Young Soul Rebels." You know, so yeah. So I was really proud of that. So anyway, we did Young Soul Rebels. Off of Young Soul Rebels, you know, a lot of people don't know. After Young Soul Rebels, I signed a deal with Disney.
Okay.
But I never made a film. So it was really interesting when I heard John Boyega. I signed to Disney. Disney came 92. They set up in the UK and they signed me. But we didn't make a film. What I did do was I got a record deal. And it was quite a big record deal with Godis, Polygram. We didn't chart, but, you know, we we got a nice advance. And I worked with some great people. And that's when I realized, sadly, that there was a ceiling and there was almost nowhere else for me to go. You know, I was at category 1 at the BBC.
Tell me what category 1 means.
Okay, category 1 means that I'm on the highest tier of pay. That my rate was £1,000 a day, and that's 1992. So, you know, I was kind of like not getting the press to be a recognized household name.
Yeah, because you weren't being developed.
Yes.
That's what happens.
So that's when I decided to co-produce this feature film, Welcome to the Terrordome, with Saffron Burrows, which was a real labor of love. I basically I had a nice job doing A Touch of Frost with David Jason. I basically invested all of that money into making this film, which we sold to Channel 4. And that's where I learned producing. And after that, I took New Kids on the Block to go and do a film in Ghana, and the whole thing crashed because we made a co-production with the head of the Ghana Film Corps, and he wasn't setting up any pre-production, and he wasn't paying relevant departments.
Okay.
So when we got down there, I had 27 crew, new kids on the block, right? I'm 24. They said to us, co-production, what co-production? So, wow, you know, the film wasn't bonded, you know, so it was a real, and that was one of the times I came back, we had to stop, you know, and Trevor called me, and he was one of the few people, while other people were laughing. Trevor said to me, Val, you know what, sometimes you learn more from failing than from success. Now, going to Ghana made me realize one thing, because when I got to the Ghana Film Corps, okay, I found out that they had a whole crew, they had all the equipment, and they would have allowed us to make the film for £1,000 a week. So we could have had the whole crew, the whole equipment, and we could have made that film for £2,000. And I came back, and whilst people were laughing, I said to myself, you know what? I'm now independent, okay? I now know that I can actually make a film anytime that I want. And that's really all I've been striving to do, to be somebody who could do justice to my life cycle.
This is what I'm going to say to you, right? As an older head, and with all that experience that you've gone through, right?
Yeah.
What would you be saying to John Boyega today?
Okay, what I'd be saying to John today is, John, get your head down. I'm very proud of you putting your neck out on the line and showing solidarity.
Yeah.
But I would be saying, John, look, get your head down, okay, and focus on your craft, okay? You don't need to fight everybody, okay? What you need to do is to make alliances. And some of the things that you're saying in public, John, I wouldn't say them in public. I would say them to my partners. Because you see, when you work with people, okay, there's an element of trust, okay? And not all the dirty laundry needs to be in public, okay? Sometimes it's more powerful if you give somebody a call privately and say, look, you know, because otherwise it comes across that you're ungrateful, that you've got a chip on your shoulder, that you
all the stereotypes can be
all the stereotypes which you want to avoid. You know, listen, hold on, because you see what I'm a bit worried about with some of the younger ones is some of the younger ones think they reinvented the wheel. Okay, some of the younger ones think they're having all the success because they were better than the older guys. No, you weren't better. You just got the technology, and you're in a different era.
What I'm going to do at this stage is the interview's going to stay with you, okay?
Yeah.
But I know that Orlando can now come in on.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah, we're back.
Yes.
Yeah, great to have you back.
Listen, mate, I had no idea, mate. You on, my son. You've proper got stories. You got history, mate. You got a
definitely,
mate. Yeah, man.
No, but
seriously, well done.
So, Orlando, one of the key things I was saying is that the younger people, right, think that it just happened for them. No, it didn't just happen. There were other people. You know, the way I never even told people that I had a Disney contract. And when we didn't make a film, I said to them, guys, I'm really grateful for the opportunity because I know that it's about production, distribution, and exchange.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You don't feel that you've got a market here, you know, because they tried to set up in the UK. I didn't go on the press, right? Yeah. And it's those good relationships with people like me through the years that gets John his millions and his merchandising on the toys. Right.
Yes.
Now he's got to also help the other ones because I don't want them to say, you know what, the first time we gave the young black guy a thing, he's roasting us, man.
You know the funny thing is, I feel John's passion. I just don't feel his execution. I think what he's lacking is guidance. You see what you're
Yes.
saying? John's not getting that. John is speaking from the heart.
He's talking from his heart.
He is speaking
It's too raw.
And it's too raw. Because you know what? No, you know, when we get very emotional, things come out wrong. We can't help it. And even though it's starting off in a good place, when the time it reaches its destination, it can be misconstrued. And right now, that's what's happening with John. I listened to what John said, and I thought, John, I feel you. I love what you're doing. However, this should be put over another type of way. That's what I personally thought. And it's not about selling out. It's not about hiding. It just needs to be put over in a different kind of way.
Well, the thing is, I think when you use the word alliances, when you understand that we're now in a global market, you know, I see us. I know we're different cultures, but we're all just human beings.
Yeah,
you know? And it reaches a point where it stops being about race, and it starts being about class, and it starts being about business.
Yeah,
it's about business. Look,
Yeah.
Rudi, listen. Every business relationship is about trust, okay? And it's about give and take, okay? A lot of people don't know that I produced Love Island for ITV Studios, RTL, for Love Island Hungary in Cyprus, okay? They gave me something that would never happen in the UK, right? They put millions in my account and I had to deliver 60 episodes, okay? I have now, look, John Boyega wasn't a star and they chose him, put him in Star Wars. They took John, okay, and they've made him a star in a big franchise. So there's a trust there. They have given him a platform. Now, it's not, I would make a private call and I'll say, guys, listen, I really, you know, I would do it in a certain way. So they say, hey, John, because let me tell you what would have happened if he'd done it a certain way. Right now, because Disney Plus has got 80 million subscribers in the first 6 months, and they're looking at 400 million by 2025. They would have been saying, hey, John, you know what? We got a story for you. We got a series on Disney Plus. But by almost burning bridges, and what I say to the young people, like I was exec producer for a young black guy who was making his short, okay? And I don't know what happened because I couldn't get over there because of COVID, but the other people said that they were going to not give him his film stock unless he paid everybody 2 days after the shoot. And I said, guys, listen, let me tell you something. What you don't do in our business and in life is you don't burn your bridges. Okay? You really try, because you never know, right, when you're going to need people. You know, what you want to be doing. And you never know when somebody puts in a bad word against you.
Well, I mean, Orlando had a similar experience on the way with Wayne.
And that was, and funny enough, and that was totally, that had nothing to do with me. That had to do with his insecurities and, you know, his faults, nothing to do with me or Wayne. But I tell you something, you know, it's interesting because, all right, you're in the same game as John. How much damage has John done for his future career?
Okay, look, let me put it this way, okay? I think that John hasn't helped himself. I don't think he's. I think that he hasn't had the right guidance. Okay. I love John. I'm proud of him, but I don't think he's helped himself. Let me put it. That's what I have to be very, very circumspect because I don't want to come here and criticize.
No, we're not here to criticize.
But in all honesty, let me say to any young people,
right,
that is not the way to do it, and that is not the way to get people to work with you in the future. Okay, cool. Because John ain't bigger than Disney, right? And Disney don't need John. John needs Disney. And I think the other thing that I would say is some of the young people think that once you get up there, you have a right to stay up there. It doesn't work like that. It's like that. I
came tumbling up and down, mate.
It's like that. It's like that. And sometimes when you're there is when you learn the most. So what you want to be doing is like going there. So nobody has a right. Nobody has a right right, to get another franchise from Disney after Star Wars.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Nobody has a right to come in there and be given all the best stories. Loads of actors for the past 40 years have been in Star Wars, and I didn't see any of them complaining like John. So that's what John has got to think about.
Okay.
Right? Loads of different actors from different colors.
Do you think that John had any valid points?
Yes.
I do think he had valid points, but I think I would have made them. I would have made them in private. I would have made them with my colleagues. I would have made them with my colleagues. I would have been loyal to my colleagues.
Yeah,
that's not selling out. That's not selling out. I'd have been. Listen, let me tell you something. Right, the people that trusted me with Love Island. Okay, those people, right? The loyalty that I have for them is unquenchable. Okay, if somebody, I was grateful that Disney even signed me and were looking to do something.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. If somebody came, turned me into a millionaire, right, gave me points merchandising on toys, I'd be putting a blanket over their feet in case they caught a cold. I would everything that I had to say, right, I would say it to them. I would, because I'm a grateful person, and I really am like you, Orlando. I'm a loyal person, right?
Absolutely.
And I care about what comes afterwards. So that's why I would say to John, I think John's going to do very well.
Extremely well. He's going to do extremely well.
I think he's going to do very well.
I'm just hoping that John gets an opportunity to hear that we're talking about him on the grapevine, because then he could take what you're actually saying, take it on board and actually use it. Because now that the youngsters have got technology in their hands, we're no longer using leaflets. We're no longer having to get big bits of equipment to do filming, etc., etc., etc. So where do you see us now going in terms of film, Valentine?
I'm really excited. You know, I'm really excited. Okay, in the sense that everything that I dreamed 30 years ago is now here. Okay. They can buy a 4K camera, right? With editing software, Blackmagic. Right, for under $1,000, they can buy 3 or 4 LED lights, right, for £300-400, and they can buy a fantastic sound equipment, right, and they've got a billion market on YouTube, right. You can now discover yourself. So all the time, young people call me, right, when they find me, like, you know, the guy who I produced these things said, "Oh, young soul, this is the greatest film. I want to make a film." Do you know what I say to them? I say, "Yeah, listen, I've got loads of people that can help you make the film. In fact, I've got a crew in London." But you know what I say to them? Go and find £1,000. No, come on, you gotta want it. What? I'm gonna stop doing what I'm doing, and I'm gonna you find that £1,000, I'll get you the crew and the equipment. And by the way, that £1,000, I'm gonna tell you the equipment to buy so that you can do it all the time. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited in the sense that, one, you know, I was saying to Rudi, what I would say to young people, old people, or whatever, is there's 3 things that excite me. The first thing is education. Be good at what you're doing, right? It's not about being black. My whole thing is about just give us the opportunities. I don't want to get the job if I'm not the best.
The both of you think similar, you know, the both of you.
Right. Right. Education. Right. Okay. The second one is utilize technology. Okay, because that really is going to increase the productivity and the reach of your market. And the third thing is internationalization, especially now with Brexit. Don't just think local, think global. Because if you think global, then racism can't affect you. Okay, I don't need anybody at the BBC. I'd like to work with them. I respect them. I don't need anybody at Channel 4. How am I here in Cyprus and I'm producing Love Island for RTO in Hungary in Cyprus? So when they come to talk to me, I have a Hungarian company. I can get a 40% rebate globally on any film in the world. I can call up my black sisters who I love in Georgia. Do you think they don't want somebody who can give them a 40% rebate? So when I go and talk to my dear friends at the BBC, it's on an equal playing field. One, they know I'm international. Two, I'm not there to take from them. I can enhance what they got, especially with Brexit. So
I just to let people know that you actually live in Cyprus.
I live in Cyprus. I live in Cyprus, but I'm in the UK a lot. So education, technology, and internationalization, globalization. If you make those, you see, my thing is this. I don't mind. I can go and make a film in Guyana. I don't mind. I can go and make a film in Nigeria. I don't mind. I can go and make. I'm happy, right?
Yeah.
I can do what I love, right? Now, let's touch on something that does sadden me every time I come back to the UK, okay, about where we are as Black British people, because I consider myself Black Brit, okay? I don't think we're united, okay?
Yep.
I don't think we share. Look, when I was coming, I'm producing a feature film called Badness, okay? We're in post-production, and it was made by young guys in South London. I took it, and we're finishing it, and we shot it in Cyprus. We went to Hungary, we shot it in London, and we're going to bring it out. And we totally did it independently. But you know what really saddened me is there's people with equipment, and they don't want to share it.
Sitting there, man.
There's people with the man in East London doesn't want to work with the man in South London. The man, everybody thinks they want to be the Steve McQueen. Come on. You can have the Steve McQueen in comedy. You can have the Steve McQueen making Nollywood films. You can have, come on, guys, build up what we've got. And that is not what happens in Nigeria. In Nollywood, what they do is all the big soups, all the stars, they work free on each other's films for one day.
Wow.
So they are rolling it out. So this guy will come. So all of their films are billable. All of their films go international. So that they give each other one day.
They're creating a scene. They've
created a scene.
Self-sufficing scene. That's fantastic.
They've created a scene. But when I come back home, everybody no one wants to work together. This man is part of this group. That person is part of that group. Come on, man, build it up. Build it up. Build it up. Network.
I think that was the Margaret Thatcher ethos. That synced into us, because that whole get on your bike and do your own thing. Fuck the family. It was like
yuppie thing. Go make your money.
But the thing is, film, music, everything is collaborative. People invest in teams, not in individuals. People invest in teams, okay? And the whole thing is like, I watched your show, Rudi, and I reached out to Freddie, okay? I didn't even know Freddie was making it. I was so proud of him. Okay, and I sent him an email, and he sent me an email back saying, let's do something. But I haven't heard from him, so I've got to bring him again. The whole thing is about, if we really want to grow, and I was saying, Freddie, come on, Freddie didn't even know what I was doing. He didn't know that, and he said, great, they're great to be, I'm interested in co-productions. But the thing is, listen, if we want to grow the brand, okay, we have got to synergize, okay,
and invest in the brand.
And invest in the brand. And let me tell you what I love about the Black Americans, right? And why I was able to get New Kids and about to go to Ghana, right? The Americans will kill you with encouragement. They might not give you money, but they will take your 1 pence and they will make it like a pound, because they will find the guy with the car and let you drive it free as a promotion. The house that the guy's trying to sell, and they'll put you in there and you promote it, right? So they will make everything big. And you said, why them big so out there, right? But in the UK, we are frightened of seeing this person get forward because we might be left behind. We have got this thing. It's been so hard for us to get it. We don't. No.
Do you think we're lacking influential leaders over here?
Well, let me put it this way: we haven't had enough
leaders. I think we have to come to leaders.
Listen,
we have to take responsibility. I think it's down to us to understand who we are in this game.
It's down to us. But look, let me put it this way, okay? we haven't had enough people that are throwing the ladder down. Okay.
Okay.
Let me tell you what I really am sad about. Okay, about the UK. When the people in the UK make it, they get detached from the community.
Yeah.
They're surrounded by money people, advisors, and whatever, and it's almost like they've lost that base. No, that's wrong. In the US, that's not how it is. When they make it, they take their core and their audience. Denzel Washington, right? Main core market that made him is black women, because Denzel would do the plays and he'll do the big films. He'd go back and he'll do theatre. He'd always be in the community. Tyler Perry. It's his shows. It's the black women. They never lose base. And when I went to Cannes and I saw the Swat League, man, you know, well, we know America. We know brothers like, you know, Soul to Soul, Jazzy B. Okay, I'm not mimicking him. What I'm saying, he was a brother from the street. And they were moving together. And whereas the UK one is you go and you get KPMG, you go and you get Coots, right? So all of a sudden now, they're totally detached. Whether you're a footballer, whether you're a film star,
doesn't matter what field.
And
you know, I think we're sold a dream, and at the end of the dream, there's this prize, and that prize is that you're no longer part of the roots.
Yeah,
you know,
I don't think we intend to get there.
And it's weird. It's almost like that is not the journey. That's not that should be the destination of the journey. But that's what you're sold. That's what you're sold all the way along the line over here. Do you know what I mean?
So with that in mind, gentlemen, I mean, what would you, as in your individual responses to this, I mean, how do you measure success in that respect, with regards to that dream that you mentioned? I mean, how would we, because I need to wrap it now.
Success is being able to do what you want to do independently. Success is, I wanted to be able to create a piece of artwork and do justice to my life cycle. It doesn't matter whether I'm on TV once a year or you know, and my location in that creativity is not important. What is important is that I've been able to do justice to my life cycle. I'm still in the industry and I'm doing things independently. Young people, success is not somebody else putting you up there, whether they give you 5 years to do the real McCoy, whether you're going to be on EastEnders for 5 years, or whether and then dropping you. That's not success, because you are just powerless.
I actually liked when you said one should not be happy because you're in Panther 2. Something that you said about being, like
you shouldn't be happy. Success isn't being in Panther 2. Success is making Panther 2.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So for me, success is not getting up there, but as a byproduct of the economic gatekeepers, and then they can drop you at any time. Right. Success is having, to me, Stormzy's success. Orlando is success. Right? They have Tyler Perry is success. They have their audience. Okay, they can do. You can't drop them. They cannot be dropped. Okay, now they can sell this much. They can sell that much. But it's not about having other people, because now we're in an age where you can make yourself. I put a young person in my film. He's got 650,000 fans on TikTok. He's got 600. So there's people with followings that no one's ever heard of, but they're monetizing it. They're doing what they're doing, and they're very successful.
Well, if you watch most, sorry to cut you, but if you watch most programs nowadays, especially mainstream programs, you will always notice that there is somebody who has got a following, who's Strictly Come Dancing, you know, whatever panel game they've got. They've always got somebody with these numbers of viewers that has got nothing to do with the BBC or nothing to do with ITV, because in actual fact, that whole institution is actually breaking down. And I think it's for us as Black Brits to recognize that, like, as you pointed out, Valentine, and as you also pointed out, Orlando, that we are in a global market that we have access to now.
Yeah.
And it's understanding that it's our skill sets that is the most important thing that we walk with, and our character.
You know, it's interesting about success. I think that it's Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. So for me, there's going to be leaders, and there's going to be people who don't lead. Okay, and there's going to be people who are great actors, and there's going to be people who are great producers. There's going to be people that's running the company, and there's going to be people who are working for the company, because we're not all built the same. For me, success is based on when you get up, when you go to bed at night, and you look in the mirror, and you turn and say, you know what, I've done the very best I could possibly do, employing the most integrity I can possibly. I've impacted my life, and I've impacted other people's life positively. That, for me personally, is success.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
I mean,
I think I was just really speaking about my industry. Holistically, my brother, listen, holistically, that is so true.
Because
you know,
I speak to people all the time from the streets and blah blah, and sometimes what they would like to be, is what other people are doing, and I get that. However, I say to them, start from the foundation from yourself, okay? Be the best that you can possibly be. Reach as high as you can possibly reach. Do it in the right way, because that way, everything that you do is impacting in a little way other people, and that's how you build.
Absolutely.
Every brick makes
absolutely.
a house. I mean,
absolutely.
And the thing is that I can't top, or I'm not about to even try to top what you've just now said, but unfortunately I have to bring the interview to a close.
Okay, cool.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, man, fantastic.
I really do
appreciate
the both of you up-branding me, because that's what you've actually done. And I'm going to ask you not to leave the green room.
Okay.
All right. I do have to run some promos. Okay. People tend to leave when they see, oh, he's going to run some promos now. I'm going to go.
No.
It's tape-free. It's tape-free. I'm going to go to the bar now before it closes.
Rudy, I love your show, man. I love your show.
Yeah, me too. It's fantastic. The energy.
Looking forward.
If you could both individually say goodbye to the viewers, I'd appreciate that, and then I can take you out of the room. And if I could start with yourself, Orlando. You say a few words, and then I'll take you out of the room, and then followed by yourself, Valentine, and then I'll take you out of the room. Then I'll close my show, and then show them a few promos. And please don't leave, gentlemen.
All right, okay. You know what? I think I've got to say a big thank you for all the people that have taken the time out to tune in and watch this, because without your support, people like Rudi and people like ourselves will not have a voice, not have a platform. We can talk as much as we want to talk, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. If you're not listening, it means nothing. If people don't watch John's films, it means nothing. If people don't come to my shows, it means nothing. Without you, we have nothing. So thank you. And that's from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for supporting.
Thank you so much. Keep healthy, keep safe, and keep supporting the cause. Okay? Lots of love. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. I got to say that again. As you can see, we have actually overrun, but I thought it was worth it. Without a shadow of a doubt, because there's no way that kind of knowledge or experience could have spilled out of my mouth. Okay. Next week, we will be talking to Eddie Nesta, MBE, and we'll also be talking to Mr. Rowe from The Spot. Oh my God, his name's right at the tip of my tongue. It really doesn't matter, because you will see him in the promo. So watch all the promos, enjoy those, and you'll find out what I'm doing throughout the week. Bye-bye.
We are proud to announce the launch of the first British black-owned search engine called Black Search. So if you're looking for anything related to the black community, whether that be bloggers, podcasters, news, history, business, black directories, marketplaces, products and or services, simply visit www.blacksearch.net and you will find whatever it is you are looking for.
Denise Francis. Remember what? 3 more questions. Come on, people. 3 more questions.
And I'm waiting for a red flag there.
Rudy, just ignore it, Rudy. Ignore it.
Hold on. You just step me up.
How are you?
I'm good,
Let's have our run conversation. Forget about them lot.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Well, you know, I'm waiting to get wet, really. Yeah? I'm the only woman that's going to get wet. So
Okay.
I'm waiting.
Okay, let's move on.
I must say, first of all, those who are on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to YouTube, our Anything Goes YouTube podcast. And then when we go live, you get the notification straight away. All right?
Heaven is between a woman's legs as far as I'm concerned.
Rudy, man.
No,
Right there. Send them picnics to bed.
Rudy,
And
Okay, time. And red card. Red card.
Rudy,
Let's do a proper shit.
We love looking after young people and just basically helping them in their football development. The academies look after all the senior kids, all the elite kids, and we look after everyone else.
The conveyor belt of talent coming from North to South isn't as frequent as South, West, East and North. So when we do have success stories, it's important that we use those as reference points to the younger people to make them know that where we come from, we can make it.
This is where I'm comfortable. This is what gives me the most joy, watching them not being able to kick a ball, and then 6 months later they're able to do things they never envisioned them doing.
A lot of people focus on the footballer, and then when the talent doesn't manifest in the way that the coach may like it, goodbye. For us, no, that's the point from the beginning.
It's giving back to the community. I've been working for the community nearly all my life, and this is a big part of it, just giving back to the
15 minutes with DJ Countryman and Rudi Lickwood. Saturday morning mayhem with 2 entertainment heavyweight. Join them with interviews,
more on Facebook than they learn at school these days. So.
comedy and
I'll
quizzes.
put your child support money for you or something.
No chance of that, Babs.
Oh, no chance. Just
Morning, darling.
Hey, everyone.
Hey,
So, I can ask.
My internet's awful.
Hello. Hi. Hello. He said hi twice. Goodbye. He said hi 3 times.
You're gone. He's gone, man. He's gone.
15 minutes with DJ Countryman and Rudi Lickwood. Saturday mornings now be the same again.
Incredible!
I was the first one to have Usain Bolt on the cover of my magazine.
It was also a discovery to self, if I'm correct.
Yes.
Now I know you have to do the circuit first before you even.
You're supposed to work the boards, right?
Yeah. And she's looking at me. He's standing there calling me a nigger. She's looking at me, not saying anything. So I punched him in his face.
I got a booking with my agent at the time, Beverly Randall, got the booking. And it's new and it's exciting because it was new to me. I'd never been on an oil rig. I'd never even thought about it. But the whole thing and the money was fantastic, let's be honest.
I consider my stick my third leg. Without the stick now.
I wish I had a stick that was a third leg. I really do. But,
Pencil has it.
Even my mum used to say, I usually start by saying, well, I'll go on when I get on stage, and my mum's going like, they won't understand what Wagwan is. I go, well, then they need to learn.
I refuse to cut that. One of my favourites.
Keeping it real with Rudi Lickwood, topical interactive chat show where you may end up being one of the guests with special guests and you, the audience. Comedy with Rudi Lickwood. This event is brought to you by Comedy Hotspot. Don't forget, keeping it real with Rudi Lickwood. This is an 18 certificate only.
What you put me on this time of morning, you're going to scare everybody. They're going to be...
What Steve McQueen did last night, was he created a fertile piece of soil for comedy. Ice skating with store dead bodies of coronavirus victims. This is more scary.
I feel like when you are speaking up for yourself, it should be unapologetic and it should be honest. I think that we all have.
This is acceptable. You can't dress like this in a Muslim society. So then who's got more respect for women? The West or the East? I'm connecting dots that don't really belong there, but you understand? Because while we're busy talking about that, this a guan in Australia, this is what's going on around the world.
As more Australians head back to the office and factories, a new tool will be activated on June 1st to make enforcing pandemic distancing rules easier.
You're on your second coffee and fact. Oh my God. Listen, girl, I haven't even had a coffee. The thing is, if it wasn't for my daughter, I sent her a long text last night. But if it wasn't for my daughter, I think I would have still been asleep because she had to go to school. So she came in to say, bye, Dad. And I was like, oh my God, if she's saying bye, that means that 8:15 is gone.